All right, guys. Hell, at this point, might as well set up a damn Trump fucking playlist on my channel. Um, Admittedly, I am highly centered around him, but I don't make apologies for that because he's doing shit that we've never seen before in our history. The limits of this man's evil, I don't think we've even come close to even finding out. He just continues to get worse and worse. But anyhow, as many of you know, Trump had sweeping pardons for tons of violent offenders. Well, some weren't, but yeah, he just let everybody go. And there's essentially what he's telling them is, as long as you back me, there is no rule of law that applies to you. You can do whatever you want. And it's pissed a lot of people off, including people on the right, by the way. And it should, because that is fucked. But anyhow, this is Pam Hemphill. She is one of the people that Trump tried to pardon, and she turned him down. And I think her story is an important one. So let's hear this. It's like less than 5 minutes, so it shouldn't take that long.
More than 1,500 people who participated in the January 6th assault on the Capitol 4 years ago got a pardon from President Trump this week. Our next guest turned down the offer of clemency. Pamela Hemphill is 71 years old. She served 60 days in jail on a misdemeanor charge for her role in the insurrection. And when President Trump posted on social media in June of 2023 that her sentence was horrible, she replied, "I'm not a victim of Jan 6. I pleaded guilty because I was guilty." Pamela Hemphill joins us from Boise, Idaho. Welcome to All Things Considered.
Oh, well, thank you for inviting me.
You pleaded guilty to a single misdemeanor charge of parading, demonstrating, or picketing in the Capitol building. Why did you not want a pardon from President Trump?
Oh, well, it would be a slap in the face to the Capitol police officers, to the rule of law, to our whole nation. I would be contributing to their false propaganda that they continue to gaslight the nation and everyone that it was a peaceful protest. I broke the law that day.
This is what happens when someone who is gaslit finally gains awareness. This happens when someone has a brain. And, anyone can fall under the sway of a fucking gaslighting, fucking ego, maniacal, fucking tyrannical piece of shit. But some realize their mistakes. And this is what happens.
Period. Black and white. I'm not a victim. I'm a volunteer. And I don't want to be a part of them trying to rewrite history, what really happened that day. So if I took a pardon, I'm saying, yeah, it's okay what I did that day. No, it was not okay.
Do you think anyone should be pardoned for their actions on January 6th?
No, not one. I've studied a lot of these cases. No, not at all.
Was it difficult for you to come to terms with the idea that the image you had on January 6th, 2021 was wrong?
Oh, yes. It's like, how was I so naive? Well, I see now how I was, because it's a cult and you get gaslighted and they lie to you and say there's this deep state and the DOJ is against Trump and all this garbage. And you're listening to people with 2 PhDs. You don't question them. And then Giuliani, he was a hero in New York. I mean, why would you question them? Why would you think they're lying?
You've clearly gone from one extreme to the other. Do you find that you are still able to have conversations with people who marched alongside you on the day of the insurrection? Are you able to talk to people on their terms and reach any kind of a common understanding, or are you just speaking different languages at this point?
Oh, different languages. Oh, no. No matter what you say, they usually can't handle it and they'll walk away. If I say, hey, let's sit down. Let me show you something that you haven't heard. Listen to this side of the story. Because, that's why we have divorce courts. Because there's always 2 sides of a story, right? I want to hear both sides. They don't. They do not want to hear anything.
That's how cults operate, and that's how cult members operate. They get gaslighted to the point where their identity is literally attached to the cult. And if anything threatens to tear them away from like their tribal frickin' attachment, then they will fight tooth and nail, or they will just run away, whatever it takes. It's like their brain sends up a fucking warning sign, and they're like, "Whoa, whoa, stop."
That goes up against Trump. And that's what's so dangerous right now. No critical thinking.
And so, what's this moment like for you when you served your time behind bars? You had the exchange on social media that went viral. You got attention as the person who people referred to as the MAGA granny. And then you were kind of living your life until this moment that all of these pardons came down and you said, no, thank you.
It's been horrible, the attacks and what I've had to go through to keep my voice out there, because this is my amends to change the narrative of January 6th. It's so important that people have the facts. They do not give you the truth. They give you propaganda that can be debunked by researchers, court records. So their narrative is all for Trump, because Trump is a criminal. He broke the law. He has to keep this narrative going that the DOJ is weaponized against him and his followers. And we know that is not true. There's been enough evidence to prove that.
Pamela Hemphill, thank you very much for speaking with us.
Oh, well, thank you very much, sir.
And we want to remind you that President Trump was found guilty of falsifying business records before he took office. He was given an unconditional discharge, which means he did not have to serve jail time, but the conviction stays on his record.
Because there's no rule of law if you're a fucking president, which is extremely fucked up. And so this is what an intelligent person does when they finally come to awareness that they're in a fucking cult and that they've been lied to every step of the way. This is what decent people do. So are any of the rest of you capable of it? Because we have this bullshit belief that toughness, that courage is like going and like fucking attacking people and shit. That's not courage. That's the easiest thing in the world, especially if you have a mob of people with you. What takes courage, serious, true courage, is to admit that you were wrong, to admit that you were in a fucking cult, to admit that Donald Trump, your God King, lied, and that he's a terrible human being, that he has like the obvious. Like, why can't you admit the obvious reality? He's been convicted of sexual assault, rape, if you want to talk like legit terminology outside of fucking New York legal precedent. Grab him by the pussy. Fucking he's shut down fucking aid, tried to like use California aid to like politicize and fucking make them change their fucking views. He's sucked the dick of Putin and some of the other of the world's absolute worst dictators. Like that alone, immediately when he's like Kim Jong-un and fucking Vladimir Putin, great people, great people. That alone right there, that should be a red flag. That should be like, oh shit, this guy is like a complete fucking nutbag. Like it's already enough that he like doesn't even, he speaks on a third grade level. He has no fucking brain. And yet you people follow this guy like he's a fucking god. It's sad. So learn from this woman's example, please, for your own sake. Thank you for your time.